There we go.
Welcome to Bears Banter. Week number 16. Chicago Bears defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars 41-17. How's everybody doing today?
Great.
Good.
Good. Yeah, hey, like I've
Clubbed
said the
up.
last few weeks, it's much better coming talking about a victory Sunday versus talking about those losses.
Facts.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. Yeah.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
you know, I was thinking, Jay, Tammy, Plank on the broadcast tonight. Let me go back and introduce everybody. Today on the broadcast, we have Guy Moore, Jaye Beasley, Tammy Harris, Keith Flourny. Donte could not make it today. He was having a lot of technical difficulties, but if he join, if he can figure out what's going on. But anyway, I was just thinking this week, I remember when Jay, myself, and Tammy first kind of discussed this. I really was like, yeah, it'll probably be about 4 games and COVID would stop the season. So I really did not know we would actually go this long when we first had the first discussion about this. But I've had an awesome time doing this broadcast.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, and I look forward to doing it every Sunday or whatever day the game is played. So yeah, hey, let's what y'all thought about this game today?
Excelente.
Excellent.
Can you
Okay,
hear me?
looked like we might have lost Jay for a second.
I take the W.
Yes.
You take the W?
A W's a
Oh, Jay
W.
coming back.
I had a bit of positivity when I saw that their quarterback was Mike Glennon. So I was like, yes.
Well, he looked decent in the first half. He looked like he
Yeah.
was a professional quarterback.
Yeah, he looked like a Pro Bowl quarterback in the first half.
See, that's the perfect example of a backup quarterback and a starting quarterback. A backup quarterback can look good for a few series in a game, right? But most backup quarterbacks, unless their previous was a good starter, that's the difference of them. They can't play a whole game. You know, you get maybe about a couple of good throws, and next thing you look around, it start falling apart. It's unbelievable that we even paid that guy all this money thinking he could be our starting quarterback at some, you know, when we had him, what was that, 2000, I believe it was 17. Looked like we got Jaye
got
Beasley.
drafted.
Well, the Bears have not been known for picking great quarterbacks. So
Not at all. Not at all.
Only picking they've been known for is picks.
Right. Hey,
Sometimes pick six.
you know what? Let's start off. One of the most important things we have right now. Let's start off with the playoff picture. It looked like Jay is having a lot of difficulties today. Hey, Mike, do you have that playoff picture?
I'm actually just putting this from the other day, right?
No, I emailed you one today.
You got me the stats.
Oh no. I'm sorry. You don't have the playoff. You have the stats of the game.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Guy has a playoff picture. Hey, guy, you want to go over the playoff scenario right quick?
Yeah, thanks to a win right now, we're kind of sort of holding on to the 7th seed. You got Green Bay first, New Orleans is 2nd, Seattle's 3rd, Washington's 4th, Tampa Bay's 5th, LA Rams is 6th, and we're 7th. The 8th is to be determined. We needed to win today, and we did win, and that's great. We have to win this other game to actually knock the Cardinals out, because the Cardinals are sort of technically the 8th seed right now. It doesn't matter what the Cardinals do. It's really on us to win. If we win, we're in. If we don't, there's just so many different scenarios that can kind of pop up and kind of put us in a situation where we might not even get in. So right now it looks good. If we were to end the season right now, we would be playing in New Orleans against the Saints. And to be perfectly honest with you, regardless of the Saints being 11-4 and we played them last time, I think this team playing that New Orleans Saints might get them a problem. I think we could win that game.
Hey, that's a great point. You know, we're seeing consistency in the Bears offense, and which kind of brings me to my first question today is why has the offense looked better with Laser and Mitch at the starting quarterback? Who would like to start this off of why they look better?
I'll start it off. It's called KISS. It's called Keep It Simple, Stupid. The difference between Nagy and Laser is Nagy is the stereotypical brunette version of a dumb blonde. The problem with him, this dude probably goes out somewhere. He's that type of dude that, like, you know, like as a father, you're playing your PlayStation game. You got a 3-year-old that's with you that wants to play. So you give him the remote control that doesn't work. That's what they did to him today. Because he sit up there with their car like, yeah, such and such. And I was teasing Bernard, telling him like, yeah, what they did was Laser's calling the play, and Nagy walks up and says, well, if anybody on the defensive line says the color black, change the play. And somebody said, look at this black dude over there. And they changed the play, and that's why they suck. But there's a huge difference, man. Laser's keeping it simple, number one. 2, cohesion is much better. 3, he's putting Mitch in motion. And as you saw that rollout touchdown, I think a whole lot of teams have kind of scouted the Bears for like a pocket quarterback, regardless of knowing what Mitch does. But as you saw, he rolled out and looked and didn't see anybody and took off. Nick Foles probably would have rolled out and just laid down. So it's much better. They streamline the offense. Guys are positive. And another thing I said too, what I was talking to Bernard about was, you know, zone is if you're playing zone, your zone tackling on the offensive line is geared towards a more powerful offensive line, a more cohesive offensive line. We haven't used it. But Laser incorporating, especially like in some short plays, guys are like, wait a minute, you're going to let us run this? And they looked excellent. But there's a huge difference. Just keep it simple and let Nagy play with the broke remote control. That's why.
They said the broke remote control. In fact, just take the batteries out of it too, just in case it works.
You just cut the cord, man.
Tell them you got a wireless. Hey, who's up next? Why has the offense looked so much better under Laser? And with Mitch starting quarterback. Because you think about it, this ain't Mitch first time starting, but why does Mitch look better? Also,
just movement in the pocket. Just movement in the pocket. He's doing a lot of naked boots. He's doing, rolling out a lot of waggles. And it's like I said last week, it's cutting half of the field for him. And that's what helps him, where he's not just sitting back in the pocket and got to survey the entire field. You roll him out, you cutting half of the field down, and you got and then you looking at the first level, the second level, the third level. And he making, well, I ain't gonna say making good decisions because he did throw a bonehead interception today. But that's what's making the offense look better. And the running game is making it look better because now when you play action, it's a possibility that we might be running the ball, which we wasn't doing during that 6-game losing streak. So that's the difference. Laser is calling the game that's in front of him, and he's catering to Mitch's strengths.
Good point, Jay.
Excellent point, man. Excellent. Point.
Who's next? Who want to?
Let's get into the Hall of Famer right here.
Okay,
Miss Tammy Laser. Tammy Laser.
So I'll say, y'all know I've been joking calling Bill Laser the quarterback whisperer. And basically from everything that I read about him, he just really seems to be a good coach for quarterbacks because he listens and he plays to their strengths and he designs the plays that help them to be effective. Now, I really do think that today, though, I think Nagy's ego is getting in the way, and I swear to God, I think he itching to get back in there. If he wasn't involved today in more of the play calling, I would be surprised because the game was not as balanced as it has been. 2 out of 3 plays were passing plays, and that's not the game that we win. The previous couple of weeks, they were being more balanced and what they were doing, and today they were just doing way too much passing. But I do think that the difference, and I don't know because I'm not in the locker room, and then I'm not on the field when they're practicing. But what I'm kind of gathering from what I'm seeing is that Laser is more of I'm going to work with the strengths of the people that I have, and we're going to make this work. Whereas Nagy seems to probably be more, I know what I'm doing. y'all need to do it my way, and y'all need to make this work. And he gonna drill it into the ground, even if it's not working. So I just think Laser is a better listener and works better with the players.
Okay.
Okay, it's first to go on the 3-yard line. Let's run a flea flicker. We're gonna run a flea flicker right now. Okay.
That sounds like Nagy. Yeah, to everybody else's point, I think the reason offense looks better under Laser with Mitch at the starting quarterback because it gives you more options as far as run-pass options. Mitch is an actual threat to run. Also, Laser has cut off half of the field, so Mitch has less to see. You got a revamped offensive line, which is allowing us to have a lot more continuity in establishing the run. We committed to running the ball. As far as in the red zone, the use of Cole Kmet and Graham is huge. You got these really big targets. So even if they're not going to those guys, they have to be accounted for when you get closer down there. And last point I want to make about what Laser's doing well is the announcers at the game even said it. Laser's a lot more unpredictable. So you never know what kind of game he's going to call. He calls the game in front of him. I was a little bit concerned, as we were saying on the chat line, as we were talking during the game, that Nagy couldn't wait to get out there. As a matter of fact, you saw kind of his impact with them 2 very stupid timeouts that he called. The offense was flowing. They were ready to get going. And he immediately called timeouts. And they looking at him like, dude, what are you doing? So, my hat's off to Laser. Tammy, I got to give you kudos for that because you said it at the beginning. Laser is making a tremendous difference. I'll take it.
Put some respect on her name. That's Tammy Laser.
Thank you, man. Hey, I would say just to add on to what everybody else said is I believe one thing that I know Jay had said this a while ago. Jay was saying it was almost like a smorgasbord with what's the coach name? With Nagy calling plays.
With Nagy.
Yeah. What it looks like when I see Laser calling plays, it looks like there's a plan. It actually looks like there's a game plan being implemented. It looks like plays are being set up. You're playing to your player's strength versus just calling a bunch of plays. And what I did notice last year, and I say this again, I thought Nagy was trying to prove that Mitch was not their quarterback more than trying to adjust the game to Mitch's strength. Because everybody kept saying it. I mean, it was obvious to anybody, hey, do the naked boots, roll them out. And Nagy just resisted it, which made me think that Nagy just didn't want Mitch to be the quarterback. So he was calling plays that really did not work for Mitch. And where Laser is calling the game that fits Mitch's strength. Now, Mitch looks much better in the pocket. He's standing there. I know early in the season, Tammy was criticizing him a lot for bagging up in the pocket once he felt pressure. Mitch is kind of standing in there now. He's throwing the ball. I mean, that first touchdown, I think it was the first one, to Graham. I mean, that was
a laser.
No pun intended.
Laser.
No pun intended.
that was a beautiful throw. So what I see growing is the 2 things I see is a much better play caller, who's unpredictable, and I see a quarterback who's finally kind of the game is slowing down. He still makes some bonehead plays sometimes, but it's slowing down for him, and he's seeing more confidence, right?
Confident.
I would not say he needs that benching. I'm telling you, he needed that benching because sometimes players who have talented have been given stuff their whole career, and they never had to work for it. And to get that yank from under you and think may not get that next check next year, it's probably put a fire on the Mitch.
See, and you know what though? This is what I've been kind of saying most of the season. I think a lot of people have been getting on Mitch. But I had to put it out there. He started 12 games in college. He played in North Carolina, no disrespect, but the Tar Heel football team ain't the team, the sports team that's known in North Carolina. So he comes to the pros. He should have, for all intents and purposes, been holding a clipboard for a couple years. But the guy who we beat today was our quarterback, and he sucked, so Mitch had to come in. He reminds me of that kid who's got the teacher, who's like the math teacher, and that kid just can never get the math problem right. But instead of the teacher clowning him, they keep working with him because he really wants to do it. That's how I feel Mitch is. Mitch is like the type of guy who really wants to do good. He just didn't have the facility, and it took him longer. But now you're looking at the majority of passes he makes outside of a couple bad ones, but majority of passes he makes are like right here. And for a quarterback, that's all you want. For a receiver, that's perfect for the fingers, you know?
Right. Hey, Jay, you want to go? Let's go over the game stats. We're going to pull that up. Mike, if you can pull that on screen. Okay.
It should be up for you now. And
let's go. There, can you see it, Jay?
Ooh, I can't even read that. No, that's real faint.
There you go.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, Mitch Trubisky was that 24 for 35 for 267 yards, 3 TDs and an interception. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay. Passing yards, 263. Rushing yards, 125. Total yards, 391. 1 turnover. Time of possession, which is huge, 33 minutes. Mike Glenn at 24, 17, 211. 2 TDs and 2 interceptions, which was by Brokon Smith. We'll talk about that later. Passing yards, 249. Rushing yards, 276. That can't be right. They ain't had no 276.
No, it's 76. 76.
Okay, that's 76. Okay, that's a little 76. Bit better. Okay, total yards, 279. 2 turnovers, 27 minutes of time of possession. And as I said on the chat line earlier, I think the Bears had more yards in the third quarter offensively than they did in the first half. I don't know
touchdowns.
I don't know what they said to them in the locker room. And my brother was texting me. He was like, "Okay, we need to put our foot on their neck." And I'm like, "Yeah, you letting this team hang around." Well, in the third quarter, they came out and they put their foot on their neck, and they actually put up some huge numbers. They had, I want to say, 11 first downs in the third quarter. To the Jaguars 0. So they came out. I don't know what lit a fire under them coming out at halftime, but it was good to see them come out in the third quarter, which has always been our Achilles heel this entire season, and put up some points and sustain some drives. They had 70 offensive snaps today, and it was 6 to 12 on third down. So the offense really, really played well today.
Hey, Jay, that's a great point, because if you look at some of these games when they're doing that losing streak, if the Bears had just had any productivity in the third quarter in some of those games, they would have won some of those games, because some of those games were close games. Like, for example, the game against Detroit. They pretty much did nothing after halftime. So that was been a complaint all year that the Bears, if they just didn't have a big lead by halftime, they maybe was going to lose that game if it was close.
And it was funny because I laughed because when Nick Foles came in, I'm probably getting ahead of myself. When Nick Foles came in and they showed the stat, they was like, Nick Foles is 2-5 in the games that he started, and Mitch is 5-2. We can't go back, but oh, buddy boy, what would have happened? I'm just saying.
Man, we are totally hold on, wait a minute. What? Man, Danny Trevathan is in the locker room and went and told Nagy that the remote control don't really work. He mad. He gonna be mad.
We had a good thing going.
We had a good thing going too.
Hey, our next question is, how was Trubisky's performance? You want to start off, Plank?
Yeah, I'll start off with this. From my perspective, Trubisky did a manageable performance. Everybody's going to point to that one bonehead play. And, rightly, that was a pretty terrible play where he just threw it up trying to make something happen. He still needs to be a little bit more aware of down and distance and game situation. at the very least, we needed to come away with a field goal before the end of the half, and he wasn't really playing to that. But other than that, I think he managed the game decently. He threw a couple touchdown passes, and he actually ran for a touchdown. So it looked like he was doing pretty good, even though he was a little bit off, if you ask me. In my opinion, 35 passes is way too much, especially in a game like this. We're up for like 20 points, and you still trying to get points. At that point, the most important thing is to run out the clock. So I'm gonna give Mitch Trubisky. I'll give him a B- for the day because I thought he wasn't that bad actually.
Yeah.
Okay. You give him a B-? Who's next? How was Trubisky's performance?
I'll go. I'd have to give him like a B- too, because you know what? Yeah, he did make a bonehead play, but as we've all said, the difference between teams who go far in the playoffs and teams who are just like also has-beens or whatever it is the teams that go to playoffs, that quarterback would have thrown the ball away. You know, you have to always be cognizant of what the clock looks like, your field position, ramifications, as well as momentum, because it could have gone bad too. Because sometimes I've seen instances where something like that's happened and the other team has gotten the ball and they're so amped because they stopped them, they go back and score, and it totally changes the fabric of the game. But he needs to learn how to manage, and he threw a couple wide ones. But I like what he's doing, though. I really like what he's doing outside a couple of bonehead plays. He's poised. He doesn't seem like he's afraid to make plays. He's not trying to make plays now. He's making plays. So give him a B-.
Okay. Yeah, guy, because on that play where he threw that one interception, he got bailed out because Roquan Smith intercepted the ball on the next play.
He should have been in the Pro Bowl. Roquan.
Right.
Clearly.
Yeah. Hold on. We got somebody that want to come on. Man, we haven't seen Zam in a while. Hey, what's up, Zam?
What's up, Mr. Jacksonville?
What's going on?
What's going on?
You at the game?
Yeah.
Man, look.
Hey, I heard you. Look like you in Jacksonville, are you?
Yeah, we got orange and blue all down there.
Hey, can you stop for a moment? I mean, can you make a decision?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Typical Swoop with some house music in the background.
Yeah, they spin a house down here today. There's a couple of house DJs down here. The game had 80% Bear fans and 20% Jack fans. Man, it was pretty nice here today.
All right, that's a good thing.
Hey, what did you think about Trubisky's performance?
Oh, yeah, he did great. He did great, but honestly, I didn't get to see a lot of the game because I had to work earlier today. So I didn't get to see a lot of it, but I looked at some of the replays, and he looks pretty good. Matter of fact, the whole team looked like they're about to be on the chair. So let's hope that they can go ahead and get this playoff spot.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Let me pull up to get settled. Okay. Hey, who's up next? Want to talk about Trubisky's performance? Tammy?
I'll say he was pretty good. He was mobile. He, of course, had a couple of flubs, but overall, he ran the ball. He could manage the game pretty well. The first half, they were letting him stick around a little bit too much. The offense was putting up some points, but the defense was letting them stick around a little bit too much. But the offense also didn't capitalize on some opportunities that they could have made in the red zone. There was one play, I don't know what happened because I had walked away, but there was and maybe y'all could tell me. But I think it was Montgomery or Mooney had got was a pass interference call, I think it was, and they got the ball on the 1 yard line. And then the next thing I know, they're at the 10-yard line. I'm like, wait, what happened? Because I had walked away. So that was an opportunity where I felt like they should have gotten a red zone because they got a penalty that put them on the 1 yard line and they had to walk away with a field goal. I don't know what happened on that play.
Maybe it was a false start.
Yeah.
Was a false start.
Yeah.
So I was, that was one opportunity. It was another opportunity where the offense didn't capitalize, where we could have opened it up more in the first half and had a bigger lead. But thankfully, we did have a pretty great explosive third quarter, which we haven't had all year. And then they put them away. But first half, they were letting them stick around too long on both sides, on offense and defense. The defense could have stopped them. So, but the second half, we played great and we put them away. So I would agree that a B minus, for offense is about right. But Trubisky is making better decisions and how to get it done.
Okay. Who's up next? Jay?
I think we got Jay.
Yeah. How was Trubisky performance today? I give him a B. I give him a B. He missed a wide open commit on a play where he was wide open. He missed him on a play. He was able to get out the pocket today. He ran the ball and got out of some situations where he needed to. The touchdown run was a great call. I was sitting there like, okay, run it. So that was a great call. But his decision making, if the Bears are going to go anywhere, his decision making needs to be a lot clearer, because that interception that he threw in the red zone was just dumb. It was at least 4 or 5 Jaguars in the vicinity of that pass.
Yep.
But outside of that, he played. The kid has come back. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I mean, be it all, it was Jacksonville, but like I say, you only play who they schedule in front of you. Yep. And he got it done today. So I would give him a B minus.
Okay. Hey, did everybody go on that question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I give Mitch a B minus as well today. I thought Mitch played well, but like Jay just stated a few seconds ago, he got to get rid of those some of those decisions like that, because he did the same thing last week. He threw a red zone interception, and today it really what made it dumb on that play was because he had escaped the pressure. And he could have either just thrown it out of bounds because he was out of the box, or he could have just ran and tucked it and slid. There was nobody open on that play. And as you get close to the playoff, those red zone turnovers make a difference in a game, because games are too close. And momentum is so key in a game that you can't afford those. So he got to really do understand that he cannot make those plays regardless. Hold on, we got comes down here. Okay, we got a big boy, a big Lobo. He said facts. I guess he was first time earlier. We got a comment from Joe's side. He couldn't hear us, so he had to fall off the line. Okay, let's go to the next. Let's go to bragging rights. Man, we starting to look better as a group. Tammy is 7-8. Jay 7-8. I'm 8-7. Guy 7-8, Plank 9-6, and Donte is 2-2.
Dang, Plank, you like the third seed. You the third seed in the Bears Banter League.
Right.
Who your coach is?
Donte could not make the broadcast because he was having technical difficulties today, so he could not stay on the line for some reason. It kept knocking him out. But also, we like to thank everybody for watching us. Okay. He's at 500, right? Who's watching us on YouTube? Who's watching us on Facebook? Yeah, so we getting respectable, right, with these wins and losses.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Hey, so we covered the playoff picture. We covered the and hey, what about the offensive grade overall? I mean, how did the offense look overall? I get an offense a B minus as well. I thought there was some points, not points, but there was a few times in the second quarter that I thought they were passing too much. I thought they was losing their rhythm. They were trying to be who they were not. The Bears, in order for the Bears to win, you are a run first offense. That's what you are. You're not a 40, right? You're not a 40 times. You don't pass 40 times. You run more than you pass. That's what this offense is. This what has worked for you in this winning streak. Not throwing the ball 40 times. So it seemed like once they came out the locker room, they got refocused and blew that game open. So that's what I give. I give them a B minus. Hey, guy, what you got for them?
I got to give him an A, man. And the reason why I got to give him an A, come on now. They scored 40 points. I don't care what nobody say. They could talk about Jacksonville, but anybody's played football, just like me and Jay were talking about off the screen. That Jacksonville squad, as bad as they look, you know how great Alabama, the Crimson Tide look right now? They beat the brakes off Alabama right now because they're a pro team. So we can't look at it like that. I'm giving them an A because their offense has been so abysmal. But what I will say about a lot of little lapses that they have, Confucius say, never get in the red zone or in a football game and think about pork and beans because all you're going to get is a brain fart. You know what I'm saying? You got to be on. You have to, every possession, every people don't realize, it sounds like cliche, but every possession matters. Sometimes the littlest mistake that you make turns the game around. And as much as we scored 40-something points, as I just said before, that interception that Mitch pulled out in the red zone could have been real bad for us. But for a team that's averaged like 19 points a game and just really sucked, and now they're like 30s and 40s, so I got to give them an A.
Hey, guy, what about this? They said it's been since 1966, I believe.
66, 65.
That the Bears, 65, 66, that the Bears offense have scored these many games with at least 30 points or more. You know, that's, in one sense, that's kind of pathetic, right?
Yeah, like the quarterback. The greatest percentage quarterback in our history is Jay Cutler.
Right. But anyway, who's up next? Oh, I see American Male put a comment down there. Let's beat Green Bay. Let's go full strength. Hey, thank you, American Male, for your comment.
I like that, man. Yeah. People say, I would like to, but I like that.
I'll go next, Bernard. Okay. As far as the grade for the offense, I'm with Guy. I'm gonna have to give him an A. We scored 41 points in an NFL game, and no matter who you playing against, that's a tremendous feat. Statistics will show out on that. Actually, we found a couple ways to manufacture some little offense as well. Hats off to Darnell Mooney. He did a great job today. He doesn't get enough credit. Unfortunately, he made his first drop this year, but I'm not going to eat his lunch for that. The kid got quite a few good plays, as well as he actually had a running play. There was one of those passes that was a lateral, so that counted as a running play, and he actually fought his way to a first down for that. Cole Kmet looked good. Graham looked like he's found the fountain of youth or the fountain of middle age, and that offensive line was a little bit better. Hey, you know what? I've got to give credit to Charles Leno. He did not hold anybody today. He's been on them. He finally actually looked like he was out there to play football as opposed to hug people. So
hey,
I'm giving the Bears an A. Yeah.
Hey, Plank, you see at the end of the game, he come out the field, they give him high fives. I had to put my glasses on.
They didn't know who he was. Right?
I was like, really? Oh, man.
Hey, who's up next? Jay, Tammy?
I'm with God. I mean, I'm with Bernard. I give him a B because 2 out of 3 passing plays, that's too much. That's not our game. Well, maybe that's more on the coaching. But anyway, 2 out of 3 plays passing, that's way too much passing for us. Too many times they were in the red zone. They had to walk away with just a field goal. They didn't convert. They played a good game all around, but just for me personally, it's not enough to give them an A because they didn't capitalize on all the opportunities that they should have.
That's a great point, Tam.
Okay.
Hey,
my first name ain't Baby. It's Tammy. Miss Labor, don't call me Nagy.
Hey, did everybody go on this question?
No, I would give them a. I give them a B plus. I'll get an offensive B plus because I mean, like you said, they scored 41 points. We've been averaging 19 points during that losing streak. Even not even during the losing streak, just the first games. We weren't even putting up no points. So for them to find an identity, which some of the commentators was talking about, if you find an identity and stick with it, and I was kind of looking at them sideways during the first half. I'm like, okay, Montgomery had 8 rushes in the first half. That ain't what we doing during this winning streak. But they did finally get back to it. I see the kid, Artavius Pierce, got him a touchdown. He got him a touchdown. Nall had a couple of carries in there. So they did finally get back to the running game. But I did think they was doing a lot of passing and just getting out of character in the first half and early in the third quarter. But I would give them a B. I'll give them a B plus. I can't give them an A. I'll give them a B plus.
Hey, Jay, I know you are a big Jimmy Graham fan. Can you answer America's Mail comment? Can you sit down there? He got a question.
Do we keep Jimmy Graham for one more year? Well, I mean, yeah, because he's under contract. I think if he stay healthy, he helps in the red zone, and he's a mentor to Komet. So I mean, if he's not a cap casualty, then I can see us keeping him next year.
Mm-hmm. He looked pretty good out there today. He made some pretty
good
plays.
He did. He looked pretty good. It looked like you said the middle age of youth or the fountain of youth. I don't know what you want to call it, but even on this second touchdown, I mean he beat that safety pretty bad. Pretty bad. So if he's not a cap casualty, I could see him hanging around for another year.
And sometimes you need veteran leadership.
Right. Absolutely, Tammy. Yeah. Absolutely.
As bad as our tight ends have been, we're going to give away a tight end that got 8 touchdowns? Come on now.
I'm sure we can find some employment opportunities for Mr. Graham in our organization on the field.
Hey, let's take a quick commercial break.
They pulled this off tonight.
Bears Banter, where the fans go to share their views on the Bears game. 2 days before the game is the prediction show. Tune in at 7 p.m. for Football 101. Be sure to catch the post-game show 30 minutes after each game on Facebook and
YouTube. I would say about the Bears.
You too can be a part
every
of the
screen
Bears.
is in your playbook.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Bears Banter.
The Bears cannot run a screen.
You still mad about the screens, huh?
Hey, Jacksonville couldn't run no screen today. Y'all see Bilal Nichols almost had that interception. They screens was pretty bad today.
You're right.
Yeah, they was terrible.
It seemed like I know what I'm talking about.
Hey, let's go to what we saw today and go to the other side of the ball and what I thought was an injustice done this week with the Pro Bowl selection. How did Roquan Smith not make the Pro Bowl?
Nagy is one of the people voting.
Well, dude, I got an answer to that. So, that ends up being reputation like anything else. So a lot of times the guys that made it years prior, they may be getting rewarded because their name gets name recognition. And he's not necessarily a known entity. After this year and 2 interceptions a day, by the way, he's absolutely on everybody's radar. So he might end up being the beneficiary of that in a couple years going forward. But he absolutely earned that Pro Bowl as far as I'm concerned.
Don't they have alternatives as well too? Like have they voted? They haven't voted on alternatives for the squad, have they?
Well, I'm not talking about all pro versus Pro Bowl. We don't. We're probably not gonna have a game, but he should be an all pro this year.
And meanwhile, I'm about to ask the stupidest question. I feel so embarrassed for asking this. Did Khalil Mack even play today?
He was playing tight end with Anthony Miller. They were both playing side to side. That's why you couldn't see him on there.
Dude, this is why I asked, because they had a shot. They showed a shot of the sidelines on the fourth quarter. Mack is standing there like that, and it looked like he just came out the locker room. His uniform was clean as hell. I'm like, and the first thing I said is like, did he even play? I don't even remember him even getting called. Who was one of our Pro Bowlers? I ain't saying nothing though.
That said a lot. Okay.
Yeah, that said a lot. You ain't got to say no more. You ain't got to say no more.
Right. Hey, guy, that's a good question. I don't remember his name being called today at all. I mean,
let me pull it up real quick.
Yeah. Did he even fall near Powell? I don't even to try to get an accidental tackle.
He did play. He had 2 totals.
Hey, that used to happen, right? Guys go stand by Powell to try to get some tackles.
He be photobombing plays. He photobomb plays like selfie. Somebody make a tackle, he show up like this. He had 2 tackles. He played. He had 2 tackles.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. He had 2 tackles. He had 2 tackles.
Yeah, 2 tackles. Okay. Hey, how did the defense look today?
The defense looked okay. The defense looked okay. They didn't have a lot to do. Glennon, from what I saw in the first quarter, he came out kind of hyped and firing on all cylinders. But when it was all said and done, the defense clamped down and did what they were supposed to do against a bad Jacksonville football team. This is not nothing shocking or what I wasn't expecting. I mean, they got some pressure, not a lot of sacks. But the defense played well. Our secondary is still kind of questionable. With Jalen Johnson out and Eddie Jackson still out here making business decisions to not tackle nobody. But overall, the defense, I mean, they played well against a bad Jacksonville team. So I mean, I give them a B. It ain't nothing to write home about. Bilal Nichols is playing some good ball. He almost had another interception today. And y'all just talked about Roquan Smith. Danny Trevathan played well today. Right now, going forward, our secondary is the weakest link on this team.
Clearly, yeah.
That's a great point. Hey, Blank, what got you?
Yeah, to pile on top of that, the secondary is pretty bad. As far as Gibson, he looks like he doesn't even think he should ever try to catch the ball. He always is going for the big hits or whatever, and a lot of time the ball is coming right to him. Our second and third corners, I guess they give you what you expect from a second and third corner, but when they were out there against professional receivers today, you saw them get burned up. As far as defense, though, we looked okay. We still held them to under 20 points. That's going to get you a win more often than not. I give the defense a B- because it wasn't a good look, if you ask me. We didn't get any pressure on the quarterback, and I'm glad that we had Mike Glennon playing against us because he was paying us back. Some of those interceptions. And clearly, we still owe him money, and he's giving us some of it back, so we appreciate that.
Well, I have to disagree about the Glennon angle because due to his poor performance with our organization, I think he still is in arrears here. He still owe us money. We still should have got 2 more interceptions. But one thing that's really funny, though, when they gave up that touchdown, I'm sitting up in my room, I'm doing like this. I'm like, oh, that's number 22. I'm like, wait a minute, the Buster Screen changed his number. Kendall Vildor, man. It was like Buster Screen 2.0, man. Yeah. Defense, you know what? For our secondary is our weakest link, man. And it's like I think we did pretty decent. We did a pretty good job. I mean,
outside of Kyle Fuller.
Kyle Fuller's like a man. Right. But that's just like when and y'all can say who y'all want is the greatest, but when they start talking about great basketball players, the greatest basketball player ever, I'll say Michael Jordan. Okay, now the greatest players. That's how Kyle Fuller looks. When you start giving out like grades, like, oh, they suck in such and such a secondary. I'm not talking about Kyle Fuller.
Right.
That's all you say. I'm gonna for what they are, for what they've done and what they accomplished, I probably I'll give them a B-.
Okay, B-. Tammy, what you at?
Yeah, I'll give them a B- too. I'll say they played adequately. They played much better in the second half than they did the first half. The first half, I was like, oh my God, they still letting people stick around. And I'm like, and you're letting Jacksonville stick around. That don't work. They were adequate. They were not the monsters of the Midway. I just really miss the anger and the fire and the energy of like the 85 Bears. Like I want to see like Mike Singletary face like, looking at somebody like just like come for me. Like, I don't see like the aggressiveness, all the time that I wish, and the fire that I wish that we had. But they were adequate for what they needed to do. They pulled it together in the second half. They shut them down and stopped letting them score so much. So, I would give them a B- too.
But you know what? On the realness of it all, you can never. Hey, but you know what? The truth of the matter is, you can never teach a sniper to be a mercenary. Because that Bears team, that 85 Bears team, one of the most docile guy in your squad, Mike Singletary, is like, man, that rookie quarterback. Will somebody please knock that boy? Let's knock him out. A dude like that, he the nicest guy on your squad, and the nice thing he says about knocking out a quarterback, our guys, it's no disrespect to them, but regardless of talent, all that stuff, they can never beat them because that Bears team, man, them dudes was some straight up mercenaries. They was trying. If your mama put on a football helmet, if she was in the stadium and they knew that your kid played, she was getting sacked.
Well, come on, we can't go back to the 85 Bears. Come on, that was lightning in the bottle, and you can't be like that no more.
Many moons ago.
You realistically cannot tackle somebody like that and expect to get away with this. So
you can't do.
Y'all probably know this, but George Halas recruited, the last member. Oh God, I forgot who it was of the 85 Bears before he passed away, and his bonehead kids did not keep that team together. We could have and should have got another Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
But he recruited the Fridge. Wait, was the Fridge the last person he recruited? The Fridge and somebody else was his last two recruits. And they were like
Wilbur Marshall.
The
Fridge and Wilbur Marshall.
The Fridge were the last two pieces to our amazing defense.
Okay. Hey, I want if you're watching out there on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button at the bottom of the screen. But as far as myself, I believe I get a Bears defense a B today. It was a B. It was okay. I mean, they held them to 17 points. It was good enough for this game, but it wasn't dominant. Now, when I say dominant against a bad team, is what they did against the Tennessee Titans. That's where you dominate a bad team. They wasn't really getting no pressure. The first quarter, it was actually scaring me a little bit the way they was moving the ball in the first quarter. But other than that, they kind of got it together. But the secondary with Johnson out is getting real suspect. You can't have a bad secondary and a bad pass rush. That's not a good combination. One of them has to get there. Yeah. So I'm seeing real bad performance from the secondary. I see guys out there in the secondary who don't seem like they know what defense they're in. And you're seeing too many busted plays. Even in the last 3 or 4 games they won, you done seen several times in all these games where there is a pass completed and the secondary looks confused on who should have covered that guy. That's not a good look when you start to get toward the playoff, because I'm not sure how many games Johnson's going to be out, but they need to clean that up, whatever that is.
Hope he's back, right? Happy Feet was back, though. I'm sorry.
They out there in the secondary talking about I got 5 low. We going hard. It's like, oh, dang, we playing football. It's like they just completely forget they playing a game. They like bust out a bid game.
I says, I can't believe the Bears played like they did. So she's Tanya's a
good or bad, Tanya?
Yeah. Okay. You're gonna have to get Tanya to dial in and come online one next week, actually, just in case.
Right, that'll be good. Right, that'll be good because she always commentating when she's not coming on the screen. She always commentating.
Tanya, from your 303 division mate, bring your butt on the broadcast. That's the only pull I got. We came out the same division, but I don't know if that's gonna work or not. But hey,
it can't hurt.
So, if she don't come, we definitely got Miss Laser in the house.
All right.
Hey, for those who missed the game, the Chicago Bears win 41-17 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, the game, it really wasn't that close, really. I mean, 17 was a garbage time touchdown with the, I would say the second stringers in, even with the Bears second stringers. So this game was not, at the halftime, this game was not competitive at all, but we'll take a win because this puts us in control of our own destiny. All we need to do is just win out, and we're talking about playoffs.
Playoffs?
Hey, guys,
what's the
Tanya
question
said
about
she ain't no punk. See? She said she ain't no punk.
She ain't no punk. Well, Simone.
She said she gonna come up.
So Bernard, what we doing? We got our hated rivals next week, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I got a whole lot of Green Bay Packers material, but I can't use it on here though. It's
filth. I know.
No, yeah.
I was gonna say, we'll wait for the pregame. Yeah, we'll wait for the pregame on that one.
Okay.
We'll wait for the pregame on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jay, how do you grade the coaching today?
I give them a B as well. So my overall organizational grade today is a B. I think Laser called a pretty good game. Even when he went into some of the Wildcat stuff, and with Mooney in motion, the offense was kind of fluid. Like I said, he got Trubisky out on some waggles. He got him out on some boots. Had a couple of nakeds with some RPOs. So I think the coaching was well today. Defensively, Pagano, he did well today. He didn't, like I say, they had a little pressure, not no whole lot of sacks, but our secondary is going to be key for us if we can get into the playoffs and see, if we can make a run. But special teams, they did okay. They got to be Carlos Santos, your boy,
Santos Claus,
your boy, kicking lights out. So overall, organizationally, coaching, offense, and defense, special teams, I give them a B.
Okay. Hey, Plank, how do you grade the coaching?
That's a good call, Jay. I'm a mirror you. I'm also giving the coaches a B. Pagano, I guess he's a manageable coach for the game, but I don't like how he's calling. He's giving up too many easy completions. We need to see a little bit more aggressiveness, especially from a defensive back standpoint. Laser he's a godsend. I'm glad that Tammy found that guy and been hanging out with him and giving him advice and all of that stuff. I'm a little concerned about Nagy. Every time I see that guy with a little play sheet in his hand and he comes up, he's still making some of the dumbest decisions ever. Those 2 timeouts were terrible because he took them out of their flow. They were already in a play and had the team going on their heels. So the Bears, I'm going to get off the whole coaching staff. I give them a B.
Okay. Hey, Tammy, how do you grade the coaching today overall?
Okay. I'll give them a C+, B-.
Oh, wow.
Somewhere in there. They did way, 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 way too much passing. And I just really believe that Nagy was in there more than he needed to be. And I don't want to see him. I think some of that was him. Like, I really believe some of that was him. And we just can't do that against Green Bay. He needs to get his ego out of the way and realize his role. Just be the head coach. Defensive coach, do what is working, because that is what we need against Green Bay. We need the offense to be efficient. We need them to be effective. We need them to have great time clock management. And then we need the defense to be the monsters of the way that we know they can be, and they need to knock Aaron Rodgers' clock off.
Okay.
Man, Tammy.
A little bit of that Charlie Brown Peanuts reference. Knocking the clock or block.
I said, "Oh, she's so mean."
Right. Hey, Guy, what you got? Hey, Guy, how you grade the coaching?
Well, Pagano, man. I was talking to my boy. I give a shout out to my guy Rod Cox. He had some surgery. Everything went well. And between you guys and him, one of the things that he was talking about Chuck. You know, he was talking about those guys, like the guys suck or whatever it is. But some of the plays, I mean, you have to work with what you got. I mean, I think he did a fairly decent job. Like I said, as long as they tell Nagy, you know, give him that sheet and just put on the sheet, yeah, I'm going to get a whiskey sour. I want some garnish on it. That's all he needs to be looking at. Don't give him no type of latitude to do anything. If anything, now the only thing that I want him to keep doing is watching the guys come up and say, hey, you know, hit him on the butt. But I have a bone to pick with Tammy. Tammy, you need to go home today and say, Bill Hunt, will you come here? Will you please talk to Charles or whatever his name, Jay, whatever your that dude's name is? Will you tell him to get the hell out of your way and let him do your darn job? I'm tired of my baby out there running them RPOs like he's supposed to. I'm tired of putting my man out there Mooney in motion and stuff, and this dude calling audibles. He doing too much. He just doing too much. That's what you need to do when you go home. But I'll give it all in all. I give him a B, despite Nagy.
Okay. Yeah, I get the offense overall. Not offense, but I get a coaching today a B overall. I think they did a good job. They got a few things they need to clean up going down the stretch. You know, to make sure they're not making mistakes, and you know, and don't get full of yourself, right? You know, what is the saying? Dance with the girl that you brought to the prom. What got you these wins is running the ball and passing second, you know.
Nice dress.
So that's dance with the girl you brought to the prom is so appropriate. You know, you bring a girl to the prom and you're going to dance with everybody else, right? Then you're mad when it's time to go home that you in that Uber by yourself, right? But anyway...
Yeah, but on that dancing reference, sometimes the girl you bring to the prom might be Aaron Rodgers.
It probably is Aaron Rodgers. But hey, anyway, let's bring this up real quick. This last break of day.
Love don't mean a thing. A little something for the steppers. The new upcoming release by Tammy Harris coming to you this Christmas.
Love don't mean a thing if I don't have you. If I don't have you, love don't mean a thing. Love don't mean a thing if I don't have you. If I don't have you.
Hey Tammy, that reminds me. I need to go online and download my copy. I sure forgot.
I got you too.
Yeah, as soon as I get offline, I'm download my copy.
Hey, good news, y'all. Good news. My son was coming from downtown. He just dropped off. He ran Soldier Field, and he stole the Bears playbook. And he gave it to me. So Nagy's good. Nah, you ain't got to worry about him no more.
Who's gonna sub for Mike Otten and start singing the Love Old Medina theme song?
Right.
Got to have a hat.
Right.
Love don't mean a thing if we don't beat the Packers.
I know that's right, Tammy.
Right.
I know that's right.
Exactly. So that's going.
Go ahead.
I can't do the rest of it. No, I only play one in the movies.
Hey, since Friday is going to be New Year's Day, do we want to do the pregame show on New Year's Eve or on Wednesday again?
Let the fans decide.
Doing that on New Year's Eve?
You want to let the fans decide?
Oh.
Okay. Hey, put down there in the comment. Should we do our pregame on Wednesday or Thursday? In YouTube, you can put it there, and on Facebook, put it down. Should we put it on Wednesday, Thursday? We're going with what the fans say. Hey, but we'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. It's so good. Another Another victory.
All right, I'll take it. Yeah.
As the Bears get to that
up.
7th seed spot.
Hey.
Hold on, we got a comment before close. What's the comment here? Oh, Russ. Hold on, let's put Russ' comment up there before we close out.
Big Russ.
What Russ say? They played well as they should have, but now they are in position. Win your way in.
Praise the Lord.
Right. I'll take it.
Like I said a couple of weeks ago, you want to impress me? Win out. That's it. Impress me and win out. Because I really believe if the Bears can get in the playoffs, if this offense can continue to click like it's clicking, they might be able to make some noise. But we'll see.
Okay. Hey, we'd like to thank everybody who's watching us live on Facebook and those who watching us on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in another week for Bears Banter as Chicago Bears defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars 41-17. Have a nice evening. Peace.